Yes, my people, what we saying? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the channel. I've got a lit panel and a lit show for you this evening. First of all, welcome my first guest. You all know him very well. Egal, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good, Dan. Everything's going well. First game of the season was a W. Let's bring on Crystal Palace.
Yeah, man, let's hope it. And also, congratulations, my friend, because I know you're going to be a very tired man now. So, massive congratulations on the birth of your beautiful child, man. So, and well done for still doing this. I mean, this is incredible that you're still actually doing your YouTube content on your show and other channels while you got a little one. So, big up, man.
Bro, today's my anniversary, but we're spending it at home. And I'm doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
husband of the year awards today.
Yeah. No husband of the year, but do you know what? Your partner, big up. I tell you.
Yeah.
Fair play, man. Thanks for jumping on, my guy. Hasn't been on for a while, but he's a good friend of mine, and of course, the show. Everybody knows him well. Grizz Khan, how are you feeling, Grizz?
I'm doing all right, man. Your little intro at the start done me wickedly, man. It's like a proper one of those. Do you know, like old people? Because I'm old, innit? So I'll go take it back. That intro, right? That music. Man, that's proper, like like the Bill me kind of music, man. In the back.
Yeah.
It's
like 90s intro TV theme music.
Yeah.
Very 90s.
TV shows back in the day.
Hyped, man. I'm ready for the show now, man.
It's like those little characters running.
Whoever done me that intro, man, you need to give me the details, man. I want some of that.
Of course, man. It's like it's like when it's like you're waiting for the generation game or play your cards right to come on.
That's exactly it, man. I thought Bruce Forsyth's gonna suddenly appear on the panel as well,
man. No, I love that, brother. I love that. And bringing him on to talk all things West Ham. You all know him very well from this show. He's always on with me, Lawless. Apart from this week, bro, you've been busy, man. You've been busy, haven't you? But thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, man. The season's hit me hard. I was enjoying the time off and all of that, and it's back busier than ever. So, yeah, it's a lot. But looking forward to. Well, I sound looking forward to it, obviously. As I'm excited 1 second to say, oh, we're keeping Paqueta, lovely, and then obviously this news breaks. So.
Well, that's where we're going to start, man. I need to get your thoughts on this one. Apologies for my audio in advance because I've got some audio issues. So if I do go a bit funny, then my headset's a little bit bad. But hopefully you can all hear me okay. Lawless, this Paqueta situation is becoming a bit of an issue. Now, it looked like he was going, and Manchester City were interested, but it looks like this deal could be put on hold, or at least, or maybe even off, because of this betting scandal. Very early doors. I don't know much about it. The only things I can see is like the Daily Mail, the Sun, all saying, they're being investigated now by the FA for betting. And apparently it's as late as last weekend's yellow card in the 94th minute against Bournemouth, from what I hear. So I don't know much more than that. I guess you know a bit more, but maybe you don't, because it's quite new, this news that's broken. So what do you make of it all, man?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I was literally on my way back home as it's come out, right? And like I said earlier, I was buzzing that okay, we're keeping him and getting Kudus, like that's amazing. You know, maybe we're actually going to do some bits this season. And you was there gloating, oh, if you have a good window, I'm gonna be on your case, this, that, and the other. Yeah, so that's, as it says here, that's what's called it off. So. It's for me, it's a cause for concern. Other West Ham fans seem to be quite relaxed on it. Like, it's fine. It was his family doing the betting, all of that stuff. But obviously, if they can prove a direct link, now, if you look at it, and do you know what? I couldn't even remember the yellow card in the 94th minute. You know, I was doing my watch along. And what I read, it was from the goal kick. So if you're getting a blatant handball from a goal kick, right, and you go, well, that's not regular. Like, you look like you've contrived that, and they've seen that your relatives have made money off that. Surely they can prove something with that or show something with that. But yeah, it's still early doors. Yeah, it's still early doors. Obviously, the Ivan Toney stuff that happened this year, that's what's made me really worried. Because what did he get? Like 6 months ban?
He got
it has been longer than that.
He got a year. So from January to January.
Yeah, a year. Like, imagine, like, to me, I kind of made my peace with him going to Man City because I was like, okay, look, we're gonna get a lot of money, maybe get Cole Palmer in a deal. It's not I'd rather keep him, but we can get a lot of money, see what we can do, right? So I'd made my peace. But now, if we lose him and and not get any, compensation for it, that's terrible. That's disastrous.
It's a literal disaster, man.
it
You'd
was
rather that he got sold. You'd rather he
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Now all that delaying, you was thinking, oh, hope it didn't happen, hope it didn't happen. Now you're thinking, shit, wish he just sold him, like it would have been not been our problem. Because that would have been, because get this, imagine that would have been Man City's problem, right? Because that's how it works.
We
You would have got your
money.
money off your hands. Man City buy an £80 million player and he gets locked up. Oh shit!
Because the problem is as well, right? So he's got a release clause in his contract. I think it's supposed to like 85 million that kicks in next summer. So we could basically lose a year of him, right? Say he's suspended for a year, and then he gets sold the following summer. So it's like we've just wasted a year that we could have either had him or got in the money earlier and maybe a player and done something with that. It would be a massive blow, but obviously the Ivan Toney investigations took a bit of time for him to finally get the ban, and it was dragged out. So I would hope or imagine that that's probably going to be a similar thing. It's going to be dragged on. And yeah, we won't see this happen until maybe next summer or whatever, which means then that clause won't get activated and he'll stay and we'll be paying his wages to be sitting home. And that's what these bans, right? I don't know what you guys think about this, but do you think, like, if you ban a player, you're kind of punishing the club? So surely maybe heavy fines, like maybe, 6-figure fines, 7-figure fines, like in the millions, punish the player rather than the club. I don't know what you guys think
what
of that.
This is for me. This is the punishment before the punishment, because Ivan Toney got punished before the punishment with missing out on the World Cup. Paqueta's punishment before the punishment is releasing this information prior to a potential transfer move. Stopping that move in itself is a punishment in its own. And then they're potentially going to now give him another punishment with an actual match ban or monthly ban. And by the way, it was Ivan Toney was 8 months. I was wrong. The chat corrected me. So I'll put my hand
Yeah, I
up.
was going to say, yeah.
But when it comes to these things, this was definitely done by somebody to stop this move from happening, to give them the information that they needed to know, so this didn't end up happening and then bite Man City in the ass.
Sounds like maybe Mr. David Sullivan maybe put in a cheeky little thing to Man City or whatever. By the way, he's been investigated. Don't sign him. We want to keep him. Or someone's done. That's what a lot of fans are saying. Like, yeah, we West Ham have leaked that, so we keep him. But I don't know. I think you'd want the money. It's mad though. But it could be fine.
What's your succession plan? Even if you did sell him, what's the plan?
Well, this is the thing. Like, obviously, the Declan Rice thing, we showed that we didn't have a succession plan, and we're only just, we finally got Alvarez over the line, but that took time. Like, that's something that we should have had ready to go. Now, obviously, if we sold him now, we've only got 2 weeks left of the window. So look how long it took us between Rice and Alvarez. It took us 6 weeks, whatever. Like, that's the worry for me. We, okay, if we're going to let him go anyway next year on his release clause,
I hate to be that guy, man. I hate to be that guy. Lawless, I think I remember speaking to you last season. I said, you're going to have a very, very difficult season. Remember, right at the start of the season, we done a show. And I said, you're going to struggle like mad. It's going to be worse, my bro, this season. It's actually going to be worse for you lot this season. Because it's a shambles, man. Like, Moyes is just, you've just sold your biggest star. Like, he's your talisman. He was your everything. Like, I don't think West Ham, actually, you probably do, but I don't think how much you realize how much you're going to miss him. Because he was covering two players he was doing, man. Like, Souček was non-existent last season. This guy was playing like two players. Like Alvarez, I know a bit about Alvarez because Liverpool were interested in him about a year ago. We looked at him. So I started looking at him. He's not no Declan Rice. He's not no Declan Rice. I know that's easy. Like, how many Declan Rices is there? You know what I mean? I get that. But Alvarez in this Premier League, and if Paqueta's gets in trouble as well, and Antonio up front is injury prone. I don't know where your goals are going to come from. You're over reliant on Bowen again. And I don't know, man. I hate to be that guy again. Like West Ham is like my second local club after Leyton Orient. So do you know what I mean? I've got a little soft spot for them, especially when it was at Upton Park. But I can see, you know where I'm going with this. I can see a scrap, man, near the bottom.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, Alvarez, of course, it's the Dutch league and stats. You can obviously only glean so much in stats without watching a player week in, week out. But he does have the beating of Rice in several stats. I feel like we're replacing Rice, his position, with two players, right? So Alvarez is going to be more covering that defensive side, but he does seem to be able to drive with the ball, but maybe not to the level of Rice. And then obviously Paqueta, this is the big if, because we've signed obviously Ward-Prowse. This is going to be the conundrum. If we sign Kudus as well, will Kudus go in the 10 and then you've got Paqueta in the 8 and then Alvarez there? Or are we going to, some people are suggesting Kudus on the wing, Ward-Prowse, and then Paqueta. I still need to see Ward-Prowse signing. I think he's a good player. It doesn't excite me. I need to see the vision, how it comes together on West Ham, apart beyond the set piece, thing, which I think
Kudus
we're going to
might
be
go
very
up top, bro. Kudus or Bowen might go up top because you ain't got a striker, have you? Got
Well,
Antonio.
we're close to signing. What's his name? El Wahi, the guy. From
Al Wahi.
Yeah.
He's
Which
the guy. He's
obviously
the nutter guy, right? He was the nutter from the past, right?
Yeah, he's got the checkered past, where he had
Yeah,
allegations.
he's mad.
Madness. And that's not something that you really want to see.
Good player, though. Good player.
Like, from a player point of view, he looks like he would suit us to a T. Looks like the energy up front we would need. So again, like, it's still in our hands. It's still in our destiny in terms of what we can try to bring in. We've got a director of football now, Stuyton, who is going and taking these deals by the scruff of the neck and trying to get them done himself. He was in Holland over the past few days trying to get this Kudus still done and potentially could be bringing him back, which would be a big coup because a lot of top teams have been looking for him. I think Liverpool, Grizzly,
if you get Kudus, Kudus is one of my favorite players on the market. I can't believe, like, I know Arsenal and Freeman. There was another team.
Chelsea.
Was it Chelsea? Yeah.
And Brighton as well.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So if you pull him off, that's quite the coup, like Dan says.
Yeah. But that's why you need these directors of football, because
the biggest winner you've got is that director of football. I can't believe West Ham have ended up with that guy. Like, he was actually
you were linked with him, wasn't you?
Yeah, we were. He was his first choice, but Klopp chose his own guy, which is a different debate probably when we get into Liverpool section. But this guy, I'll tell you the bad thing though. I can't see him and Moyes getting on for long, bro. I'm telling you that straight. There's like differences of philosophies there.
He's already won that though, Grizz, hasn't he? He's already won that though.
Exactly.
So that's a good sign for West Ham because
Maguire's in the bin
for Maguire and McTominay and all these man. Now they're going for Kudus and El Wahi. Yeah, straight away, that to me means Moyes has lost out.
But then you're gonna lose. But then that's you might say, okay, he's won. Are you happy with that? With him winning? Because then that Moyes won't be happy.
Good question.
Because Moyes won't want the director making calls. It looks like he has. Because McTominay, Maguire, Ward-Prowse, these are not your football director's suggestions. I think everyone knows that.
Listen, if he's not happy, he knows where the door is.
There's one thing I want to say.
That vibe, though. Are you happy with Moyes?
Yeah, he is. Has been for ages.
He's been wanted him out for a long time.
Moyes, he wanted Moyes out for about 3 years.
How happy he is.
I'm being real though, right? Listen, you either get on board with what we're trying to do or you get out. Like, at the end of the day, I'll be thankful for him winning that trophy, but it's about the future now. We can't sit here and hold back our progress because, you know what I mean, you won this trophy for us. Like, at the end of the day, if you're not happy, then leave. And then Stuyton can go in and pick a manager that fits in with his philosophy and the players that he's getting, and then we move forward. So we may have to take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward.
Though. You guys have been talking about this guy. I don't know anything about him. Which club did he come from?
So is that Leverkusen and Werder Bremen? Or Werder Bremen, I think you pronounce
Okay, so yeah, teams that have been relatively good at recruiting players.
it. Yeah,
Now,
so he recruited some.
now my second point is, do you think you guys are as attractive as a Brighton or some of these other teams? Because yes, you just won the Conference League, but you finished quite low down the Premier League table. Do you feel like you're struggling to attract the players that you want?
Well, this is the thing, right? And there was a few like media people going like, why would you go to West Ham over Brighton? And you look at this, right? Okay, yes, we just won a trophy. There's one. 3 seasons in a row in Europe. Brighton finished above us, what, one time in how many years? Like, they don't finish above us. It's very rare they finish above us, right? This is their first season, I think, getting up to finishing as high as they have. We're a London club. We've won trophies, not just this. Brighton don't have any trophies in their entire history. So, like, when you come to it, and we've got a big stadium, all of those things. Like, there's so many things that, reasons why players would choose a West Ham over a Brighton.
Right now though, it's different, Lawless. Right now it's different.
Kudos has chosen us over Brighton. So, boom.
Yeah, do you know why that is though? Do you know why that is? Because he wants a release clause put in his contract, which means
you had to just bring that up, innit? We weren't going to bring that up. We weren't going to talk about this little release clause. You had to bring that up.
That is going to happen, though. Yeah, that is going to happen, though. You know that, right?
Oh, what? And he would have definitely gone to Brighton over us. Like, if you put Brighton and West Ham and said, kudos. The thing is, their play style.
I don't know, mate. Maybe he would. I don't know. Brighton, I think you're doing disservice to Brighton, brother.
You got to say he will take Brighton right now. It's deserving.
Brighton. Villa and Brighton right now are definitely better outfits than West Ham.
It's not.
Not Villa. You can only make the case for Brighton. I feel like Villa.
I think it's the coaches play a massive role, man. Unai Emery.
Yeah,
Deserby, his coaches sway everything. If it's an English player or a British player, no doubt. If you offered Maguire, Brighton, Villa, or West Ham, he would choose West Ham. If you choose Scott McTominay, same question, same answer. If you ask these European lads, they're not signing for David Moyes, man. Unfortunately, they're not.
But they are though. That's the thing though. Like that, we are signing players. So I know what you're saying. Like Moyes, and I've always said this. Moyes hasn't really got a pool like that.
What about the London factor?
You bought Ward-Prowse, okay? Now Alvarez, I think Alvarez is a sporting director signing, but let's see if you get Kudos over the line. That's a fantastic signing. I'll hold my hands up. I can't see him at West Ham, but if you get him, that's a fantastic signing.
I'm surprised no one else has come in.
I think Kudos is that good. He'll save your season, man.
He could be their Paya replacement. Like they replace Paya.
Yeah, the thing is, and like you can beat teams like Arsenal or Liverpool or whatever to these type of signings by not, dilly-dallying. Like if you've got your shit together, you get director of football that identifies them, goes in, offers the money, and gets it done before
the clubs come in. Yeah, before the clubs come in.
Yeah, like. You know what I mean? Because you'll get to the point where obviously Arsenal are going to consider it, but they have to then look at and go, oh, like, what else do we need? Is this a priority area? Let's sit and look. And they're going to take a little bit of time while they're deliberating over should we or shouldn't we, go and get him. Like, same way Liverpool are looking at positions now, and they're going to be looking at multiple targets. Just be decisive. And that's how teams like West Ham beat other clubs when they go, how the fuck did they get that guy and no one else got him?
You get Scamacca. If you don't know how to use him, what's the point of having the tools? You can't use
That's a good point. That's a good point. Moyes has messed that up a few times.
But this is it. I feel like, look, he's got 1 year left on his deal. This is last chance saloon for David Moyes. And so, look, we can't keep investing in a manager and these players that we're buying aren't working out. Okay, yes, we won the Conference League, but we were favourites to win that anyway. Like, yes, I'm very thankful for it, and I'll defend the trophy to people. But let's be honest, like, that's not something where you can say, oh, you have just complete, final say on everything, and we'll just let you get away with murder just because you won that trophy. We're still in a relegation battle. So at the end of the day, this season, you can't dine off that. This season, we have to see progress in the league. And if not, then you go. So if we sign a Kudos, right? And it's like, well, Kudos isn't working in this system. Do we keep Moyes and get rid of Kudos and sell him for at a loss, or do we keep Kudos and get a manager that can get the best out of this player? At this stage, it's the latter, surely.
Do you think? Do you get why I was having a chat with you a couple of weeks ago, telling you not to lose your head now, Lawless? This is what I'm saying about you. That's what I'm saying, bruv. This is a completely different Dan Lawless talking to me now. All of a sudden, 3 weeks ago, it was meltdown. Oh my God, get these lot out there, a complete shambles. Now Kudus is coming. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing how this window plays out. I was like,
right, no, let me, because this guy, right, let me tell you guys, like he's been on me because I was like, you know, we've been messaging. I'm like, oh, it's a shambles, blah blah blah, because we weren't doing nothing, right? And he's going, oh, keep your powder dry, You don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm like, no. And so he's trying to basically now say, oh, if you have a good window, yeah, you're gonna have to eat humble pie. No, because we could have, if, like I said, if we would have got certain players in, if we got Alvarez in earlier, right, we might get 3 points at Bournemouth instead of 1. Like, at the end of the day.
So now you're agreeing with what Errol was saying about the Declan Rice thing. After having a massive rant for about a month with him.
No, don't do that, right? Because you don't. Because he's going to see that and just listen to that.
Like both of you guys want to say you're right.
No, but you know what it is, yeah? It's not that we took too long to sell Rice. That's not my problem. It's look at the gap between selling Rice and signing Alvarez. So why wasn't we ready to go? Why did we not sign a player before selling Rice?
I agree with that bit.
Because you guys know what you want.
But that's what I'm saying. We should have done. We should have had that plan in
you're
place.
too busy. Moyes was too busy fighting with this Tim Stanton guy. That's why.
Well, Tim Tyson wasn't in yet, but we should have known. If we known, like, at least from January, if you go, right, okay, let's identify him. Okay, we like this Alvarez guy, yeah, over there. We like this guy. Let's get ready. As soon as he's gone, or let's start the talks before he's gone. Put bids in as soon as we sell him. Okay, we've got that money confirmed. But we didn't. We waited ages. So there's nothing you can say. Doesn't matter how we could sign flipping, I know, Mbappe or whatever, right? On the last day of the season. Yeah, I'll be buzzing. We signed Mbappe on the deadline day. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change what happened between selling Rice and signing Alvarez.
No, but apparently you guys wanted to sell Declan Rice before the 31st, which was the physical year. And then you didn't want to make a new signing until afterwards. So I don't think you guys ever really had the intentions to go out and make a quick signing after Declan Rice, because then you would have to worry about balancing the books and making sure it's on one side of the margins instead of the other. And that's what's difficult with the transfer window. So Arsenal in the past, when they used to do business late in the window, that's why we used to do it, because we didn't want to do it early in the window, because we spent a decent amount of money the year before.
Yeah, but that's the problem. So when you're looking at it, you go, yeah, okay, that's this book balancing business and all of that. That doesn't translate to, you know, the pitch, because at the end of the day, you get players in late. They've got to get up to speed with the rest of the team and what they're doing. So you're starting behind everyone else. And I'm seeing like Villa making a bag of signings. What's happening with it? Yeah, they sold Grealish for 100 million. And look what they've spent. They've spent loads of money in the league.
But they lost their first game.
No, but I'm saying, like, in terms of just them actually making moves and signing players. Okay, whether those players are good or not, or whatever, or whether they work out. I'm just saying, like, why can they go and spend that money and get players in early, but we have to wait until...
I get what you're saying. You must be looking at Villa and Brighton thinking, how? Like, why could that not have been us? You was finished. You was in the conversation for Europe.
The reason is, and obviously we're going to get to Liverpool later on as well, probably. The reason is because of the harmony between the sporting director and the coach. It's all one. The two teams that you've mentioned, Christian Purslow and Unai Emery on one page. The Brighton, we know Brighton, how they're operating. And, you know, you guys, there is internal issues, not fighting, but issues around West Ham.
Yeah, like you said, different philosophies, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a clash of... I don't know what owners were thinking. Like, you've got to align the owners, the coach's philosophy with the sporting directors. You've got to look at their records, style of play, type of recruitment in the past, and try to align the two. To me, and I hold my hands up, on the outside, obviously Dan will know far more about his club, but to me on the outside, it looks like a mess. And that's why I think it's going to transpire on the pitch. I said to you last season, you're going to struggle, and you struggled. No one predicted West Ham to be in the relegation zone. I did. And I think this season it's going to be pretty much the same. Pretty much the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, to me, if they decided they want to go
I'm
in,
not,
and I
I'm
think
not, I'm not Dan. I'm not cussing.
No,
I'm not-
no, it's just the way
I'm
you
just
said
giving
it.
I'm just giving an honest footballing opinion from the outside. No agenda whatsoever. West Ham ain't one of my, like, they're not Chelsea. Like, fuck Chelsea. Yeah, they're not Chelsea. So this is West Ham. I've got a soft spot West Ham, but I just see a mess.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I can say this is the thing. If it's Errol, we'd be talking about, Liverpool and what's going on with Liverpool. But Errol is a different. He has an agenda, right? Errol has an agenda against
no
us.
agenda.
You don't have an agenda. It's coming from a different place. What I'm saying is they should have had the balls to sack Moyes if they decide. And I think that's this diet and all that's the right direction. Yes, new direction, but you can tell they didn't have the balls to sack Moyes after winning that trophy. So they tried to have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Like they tried to, we want to go in this direction, but we can't sack Moyes off the back of that. So they tried to do both. When really, you just come out and say, okay, the media are going to have a little meltdown over it, right? TalkSport will be calling us all the names under the sun for a few weeks. People will get over it. That's football. That's what matters.
Do you think that hindered you long term overall? Because that trophy, look, actually, you wouldn't swap it for anything. I get it. A trophy is a trophy, right? The European one that you got, yeah. But it did save his job.
Yeah, it did. His job, and when you have a man that comes down one game, his job was based around one game.
One game. But that shouldn't be the case, though, should it? Should his manager's position be based off one game? If he's on such tender hooks, then that means he hasn't been doing a great job in the first place. You can't look at one job and then change your mind about it. I think
like one Jared Bowen goal, right?
That's the best night of your life. I get it.
Call me
but
crazy.
You look at it, if it's if it's that much, you're on the line. Like I said, we're one goal. Jared Bowen scores that one winner, and that then changes things from Moyes then staying and trying to spend 40 million on Harry Maguire, 45 on Scott McTominay. So all on one game, it changes now what he does, rather than them being able to say, well, we had doubts about him, we're going to sack him anyway. Why are we going to let him dictate what we spend all of this money on when we clearly want to go in another direction? It's just, there's no bottle. Like I said, if you're going in that direction, just sack him. Like I said, shows like this will be slating us, but just do it.
My personal prediction: he walks early in the season, and just walks.
A lot of people are saying he's the first one to get sacked that I'm speaking to. A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, I think it's between him and the Forest manager.
I think we're going to get a message after like the 5th game, if they haven't won yet, that he's resigned.
And you've got 6 hard games. Like Bournemouth, you didn't beat. That was one of your easier ones. You've got Sheffield United and Luton, but you've got Chelsea.
Next.
Brighton and Man City.
We never win. We never beat.
You got Chelsea, Brighton, Man City next 3 games.
Yeah, we got you coming up
next
as
4,
well.
aren't they? And Liverpool. Yeah, it's crazy.
So Chelsea, Brighton, Man City, Liverpool.
And they got Sheffield United and Luton within that as well.
Within that mix.
If they don't beat Sheffield United or Luton, that's like bye-bye Moyes.
Yeah.
For me.
100%.
That's the way I see it.
But they got to beat Bournemouth and is it Bournemouth and Luton? You said?
No, Bournemouth they had that they drew 1-1.
Luton and
Sheffield United and Luton.
Yeah. I have it in front of me. It's Chelsea at home. Then they have Brighton away, Luton Town away, Man City at home, Liverpool away.
Yeah.
Wow. I can see him going. I don't see you winning many of them. I ain't even lying.
You know what? We're gonna put a spirited performance in at Anfield, and like we'll lose still, but that will go. Oh look what we did! Look at the performance, though. There's something there, and then that people will hold on to that and cling on to that.
Let me ask you this before you go, Lawless. Let me ask you this because I know you've got to shoot, right? Let me ask you this: what do you expect this season? And what would a good season look like for you? Because there's 2 different things there, isn't there? What you want to happen and what you think will happen, basically. Because I did something mad. I did the predictions before the ball was kicked. And I had you in the top half, literally in 10th. Because I feel like you could actually with some signings, be okay. A lot of people laughed and said, no chance they'll be 16th, 17th again. But I don't think it's all that bad. And the reason I think that is because I actually think Moyes might go, and I think you might actually get somebody in who could take you forward. That's what I'm kind of thinking and putting it on. But I could be wrong. You could be absolutely muddied and be down in 16th again. I don't know. So let me ask you. You're the expert here, man.
Yeah, like it is a tough one because obviously either Moyes performs brilliantly and keeps his job, right? And I'm happy, and people are going, you wanted Moyes out, and I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'll hold my hands up again. And we have a great season with Moyes again, and he proves that that was just a blip. Or like what you said, we have a bad start. He gets sacked because he is on 1 year, has 1 year left on his deal. It's cheaper to sack him. So we get sacked, we get a new manager in, and we do well. A lot of what happens left on the window, like whether we get kudos, we don't get kudos, or, whether we get striker, it's going to change things. So I'm not going to fully be locked in until the end of the window. But yeah, I can honestly see him getting sacked. There seems to be like just these rumblings, like in the dressing room. Fabianski speaking out, how he was furious with how Moyes dropped him. Antonio, his head seems to be out the door. Creswell, maybe he's going to go. It just there seems to be unrest there. And I think that is going to, if there's a few bad results, I don't think this team are going to stick by him like that. Do you know what I mean?
I've said this guy, and I still stand by it. And this guy, that's the one I think, man. That is the one I think. I honestly think that.
The big thing about him is he showed he can work with a director of football, right?
Yes,
like I said, it's either him or Xavi Alonso, who, and I know you're always saying Xavi Alonso, but obviously Steiten brought him into Leverkusen, so there's that.
No, this is, you know what? This is the wicked shout, Dan.
Yeah,
wicked shout.
I don't blame him for Chelsea. I think he was set up for failure at Chelsea, personally.
I agree.
But yeah, we won't be running madness like that and 20-year contracts and all sorts of stuff like this. Lifetime
amortization, deals. Mate. Amortization. That's all you keep hearing now.
Good season, challenging for Europe again. So even if we fall short, I can say, do you know what? We was in the conversation. We didn't get it, but we was in the conversation for Europe. That's a good season. Great season would be winning or something or qualifying for like the Europe.
I was going to say, okay, great season's a trophy always for a team like West Ham for me. Good season, like you say, would be that you push for Europe, and then obviously a bad season is you're down in the relegation zone again, trophyless. So yeah. I actually think Moyes will go. And I don't think the team at West Ham is a shambles. I just don't. I think Moyes has been a bit of a problem. And obviously, he's going to take his flowers for winning that trophy. 100%. He deserves it. But I don't know that they're going to move forward, West Ham, but with him at the helm. So that's the way I see it, bro. Listen, Lawless, I'll let you go, man, because I know you're supposed to be on another show. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend. We'll catch up with you very soon, mate. Make sure you go and join at the Lawless and West Ham Fan TV if you want to see more of Lawless. You're a legend, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Take it easy. Ciao, Grizz. Great to see you guys again. Catch up soon.
Big up Dan, man.
See you later, guys.
Nice one, Lawless. Grizz, let's come to it, man. Actually, do you know what? Let's quickly touch on the Balogun thing again, because I want to do that first, actually, and then we'll come into Liverpool. Give Grizz a bit of a chill because it's been Liverpool. This isn't going to be long because I just want to touch on this one. So Balogun's being linked with a move away, right? I want to ask you, Gal, what you think of that first of all. But the rumours of him going away to Monaco and going away now to Chelsea and Spurs, he's definitely going to go because he's not kicked a ball. So what's your thoughts on this one? And would you like to see him sold or stay?
Okay. Balogun doesn't seem to be that he's going to get a chance. Now, it would have been nice to see him get a chance, but I don't think he's going to get a chance. I think he's going to be most likely get sold this transfer window because we have so many forwards already in his position, and he hasn't really been given an opportunity. So what I would like and what is going to happen, they're not going to be aligned. Personally, for me, I would have liked to see him get an opportunity to play in the first team, but it's not going to happen. Now, where will he move? Fulham, I don't think that's going to happen. Monaco, it's still possible. Inter is not going to happen. And we keep hearing about Tottenham and Chelsea. Personally, for me, if we're selling to a direct Premier League rival, like a top 6 team or traditional top 6 team, the price goes up to 60 million minimum. Like the fact that we're selling to Monaco, we might be able to give them a discount. but they give us a buyback or a sell-on clause. And overall, I think the guy wants to go. He wants to be the face of USA football. He wants to be the face of that American national team, and he wants his own team. And he wants to keep his progression going as a player. So for me, I understand why they want to sell him, and I understand why he wants to leave. And his agent having the same agent as Eddie Nketiah and Bukayo Saka and these guys also benefits him, because they know the stance with the club and have a good relationship with the club. So they might be kind of letting him go somewhere reasonable. And yeah, I just think he's going to get sold regardless. And at this point, Mikel Arteta has made it very clear. Eddie Nketiah is staying. Balogun is going to be leaving. And in the case that something happens to Jesus, we rotate between Havertz, Eddie, and Trossard. And Balogun is never going to really get the opportunity, even though it's unfair. I understand the club wanting to capitalize on sales because we need to get rid of players. We have too many players at the club.
100%, man. The outgoings or the lack of has been a surprise, but I do see it happening next. Grizz, let me just ask you to touch on this, because I'm going to link it back to Liverpool, because for me, 3 players just off the cuff I can think of: Dominic Solanke, Jordan Ibe, Ryan Brewster. They all went for good prices, right? Very good prices. Never really seen much from them since. You could argue Solanke, but the other 2 have pretty much vanished into thin air, right? Do you see Balogun being one of those guys, or do you think there's something more there in the fact that he scored 20-odd goals in France? What would you like to see happen to Balogun if you're an Arsenal fan right now?
In these situations, it's all about the player himself, his desire, his attitude, his will. Not so much talent, because all of those players that you mentioned are talented. Balogun's no doubt talented as well. Solanke was. Jordan Ibe, I thought, was the new Sterling. You know, all of these guys are talented. It all comes down to their own personal will, desire, attitude. I don't know Balogun like that. You guys all know Balogun. Has he had issues? Why has he not been given a chance? The talent seems to be there. Liverpool interested in Balogun a few years ago, you know, coming through young youth age. You know, he's a talent, no doubt. All the big clubs are in for him. The price that you're looking at him suggests that you actually do rate him in a kind of way, because you're asking such a hefty price. So if you rate him and you want him gone for that much, you want that much money for him, it suggests to me there's other issues then behind the scenes that you can't work with. Because if you think someone's 40, 50 million pounds, you rate him. Like, otherwise you just get rid of him. 15, 20 million. Fuck it, move on, man. Do you know what I mean? Move it on. Keep it moving, man. But then, so I don't know. Has he got any? Is there any rumors behind the scenes like he's got a bit of an attitude?
There is, of course. There's rumors about the attitude, training on his own, stuff like that. I don't know how true it is.
There's the man after a USA USA game during the summer. He came out and said, with nothing, no one pressured him. They just asked him, "What do you think about Arsenal?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go back to Arsenal. Do you think you'll make a move or another loan?" He's like, "No, I'm not getting loaned again." Out of nowhere. So it's like he's making his point very clear. He wants to leave, or if he's going to stay, he wants an opportunity to play.
But it's very obvious, like you said, that Nketiah is ahead of him. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus ahead of him, and then you got the likes of Havertz coming now, whatnot as well. So all these guys are ahead of him. He's not going to get a chance. All right, fair enough. But that's what I'm saying. The price you're asking for him suggests that, you know what I mean, something don't make sense there. But look, Balogun, if he goes on to another club, it's literally up to him. I think, you know, if he's got it will depend. It will show what kind of, if he was proved right or not. If he doesn't make a career of himself, like today, people are talking about, for example, the Nottingham Forest striker who just scored today. I don't know how you say his name.
Awoniyi.
Another ex-Liverpool. You know what I mean? We bought him. We thought he won't quite make it. Went to Germany, made a career. And now he's come back to Nottingham Forest, smashing it because he had the will, the desire, the attitude, the passion. Balogun's got to show that. Balogun's probably more talented than Awoniyi, but has he got that heart and desire? This kid's showing. So,
but you know what the problem with me is, Grizz? I don't know if you guys have this in your fan base, but when a player is not liked by the manager or doesn't get an opportunity from the manager, it seems to be he's used as a prop to use against the manager, to the point where people now talking about Balogun as if he's the solution to all our problems. You have some people in our fan base even comparing him to R9 and saying, why are we getting rid of a potential R9 caliber player? Like, what are people on? It's actually crazy to me. Like, this is what we have to deal with.
Yeah, I get that. It's madness, but it comes with the territory, innit? It comes with the territory. Fans are like that. It's madness.
Of course, man. Listen, I hope he does not go to another
London club.
top Premier League side. Yeah, man. Listen, what I would like to see happen. This is what I'd like to see happen. It's not going to. This is what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see him either be given a chance at Arsenal or go out on loan in England, and let's see if it's a Farmers League in France and he can do it in England. So I'm talking Brighton, Fulham, Palace, that kind of level, Wolves. See what he can do there, and then we bring him back and play him. That's not going to happen because he wants a permanent move from what, like Igal was saying, he doesn't want another loan, etc. Right? So it looks like Arteta's decided to let him go. What I find bizarre, and I want to quickly ask you before we move to Liverpool, don't Arsenal need another centre forward? Aren't we being linked with everyone's saying we need another forward? Eddie isn't that guy. Trossard doesn't seem to be fancied there. Havertz isn't really a number 9. And then we're getting rid of a guy that's £50 million that quite a lot of people want. Who else is there out there that can be better than Balogun for Arsenal to actually look at? Igal, I'll start with you.
Bro, our squad size is too big. We can't be thinking about incomings before we get out at least like 5 players. We got a couple players out on loan right now. Hopefully we can get 30 million, fingers crossed, for Nuno Tavares. If Edu does that, he deserves a statue. But when it comes to incoming,
that's amazing amount of money. When I read that, I thought, what?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest are going to give us 30 million for Nuno Tavares, who we paid 8 million for and sent on loan because of his attitude. Amazing. We bite your hand off for that. But when it comes to incomings, there's not going to be any more incomings until we get outgoings done. And if there is another incoming, I don't think it's going to be a striker, because look at the striker market. It's very poor at this moment in time. You've seen Manchester United just spent that much money on Rasmus Højlund, who's relatively unproven. Tottenham are scrambling, trying to find a striker. They're now looking at Gift Orban as their potential striker option that's going to be rotating with Richarlison. If we go out and get a half-hearted striker, is he going to be that much better than Eddie Nketiah, Trossard, or Jesus? No. So in my opinion, we wait until January to either go for an Ivan Toney, or we wait until next year where we can spend all our money on a Victor Osimhen. There's no need to go and panic buy a striker at this point. If we're going to buy somebody,
Tony is the one for me. Tony is the one for me. That's what I would do in January.
If there wasn't that case around him, wherever, he's the absolute one to go and get.
And I also think there's one more thing we can do. We can do another Tomiyasu type signing last minute and get someone to back up Saka or another defensive player now that Timber's gotten injured. That's my priority. Striker, push the can down the road. I think we can still win the league without a striker.
Big call, man. Big call. But fair play. Right. Grizz, let me do this. You've signed someone, bro. You've got your defensive midfielder. Endo's come in.
We've got a defensive midfielder. Don't say
you've got a. You've not got the one, but you've bought one. Listen, I know you're going to get another one. I expect you to anyway. Let me ask you this. I've asked this to Liverpool fans. They've been in meltdown. They've lost their heads. I've always thought Liverpool were a DM and a centre-back away from title challenging, and I still stand by that. That was me thinking you were actually going to keep some of them. You've cleared them all out now. So it seems that you actually need to actually buy more than one. Now, it looks like Endo's come in as one of them, and I believe you'll probably go in for another. I don't know who that's going to be. Perhaps you can tell me. Is it going to be Decore? Is it going to be, someone you've been in for before? Who knows? I do think that and a centre-back, and I don't think that's a terrible, terrible window, depending on who you get, of course. For me, I think Liverpool can still have a good season. I still believe Liverpool can be title challengers. Last season was a madness. We all know why. If you address those issues, you've got what I class as a very good team around these edges. But in the middle, it's just been gutted, right? Van Dijk can't last 40 games anymore. You need a centre-half to partner Kenyatte that's more reliable than the guys that keep getting injured in Matip and Gomez. And, of course, when you've got Endo, you need somebody else in there as well that we've just mentioned. Going forward, you're absolutely spot on. There's nothing there that I'd say you're weak in. You're pretty much good, Dave. And you add Harvey Elliott and, of course, the 2 guys you've just brought in McAllister and Szoboszlai. You've got all of the strikers in the world that you're frontmen in the world that you need. Am I being wrong there? Because I've spoken to people and they're just like, oh, the window's done, damn. We can't even save our window now. I don't know, man. I think maybe you can. What's your thoughts, bruv?
There's a reason. There's a reason why I refuse to collab with many channels. and people. And there's a reason why I love coming on your channel, your show. A reason why, since I've got to know you, you know what I mean, we're on the same wavelength in terms of footballing opinions. And that doesn't mean we have to agree on everything. What I mean by that is you just explained it logically and rationally. So at this point in time, you're absolutely right. A quality DM and a quality centre-back does two things, in my opinion. It changes the outlook of the window, and it changes the outlook of people's perception of this Liverpool team. But then again, if we don't get a quality DM, if we don't get a quality centre-back, then everyone that's criticising, going mad, you know, writing off Liverpool are absolutely justified as well. So you can have a basic understanding of the scenario and give it context. And you've given it the perfect context. I can't disagree with anything you've said there. As a Liverpool fan, you might want me to fight back and say this, that, but it's true. If something's staring at you in your face, you have to realize, accept it. Right now, as we speak, what's the date today? How does it? 18th?
18th of August,
18th.
yep.
Friday, 18th of August, 8:53, where we've had a shambles of a window compared to what we were supposed to have had. So right now, it's a shambles, it's a disorganized, you can't see the plan. Everything that you associated with Liverpool, you're thinking, what? This is the opposite. Everything that I used to cuss other clubs, Man United, namely Chelsea, of course, in terms of scattergun approach, having no direction, bidding for this player, going for this player, losing out on this player, going for that player. Then everything that we've seen from other clubs who have spent truckloads of money, we're doing. Bidding for Caicedo after they've done the groundwork, knowing Caicedo's price last season, but allowing it 70 million now, we're not paying it. Then dropping Lavia. We had Lavia in the bag. Lavia was done, all agreed, everything. But then dumping the kid. Of course, that kid's going to switch up. Everything that I cuss other teams for, we've done in this window. So right now, I absolutely understand people that are falling off. Our heads are falling off, right? But as you said, if we bring in for example, let me just tell you guys, look at the fine margins. If we brought in Caicedo that week, because the bid was accepted. When I found out we're going to make a world record bid and I tweeted it, people laughed. There we go, Grizz, fuck's sake. He just made something up again. Because I tweeted it, Liverpool about to make a fucking 95 million plus bid for Caicedo. And I was getting inbox and DM like, why are you making shit up? Fucking this that you thought. Next minute, we make that bid and everyone's like, yo, what the where did that come from? Yeah. So I couldn't believe the intel I received. Like, oh shit. I was like, are you serious? He goes, I'm telling you now, we're about to blow the Premier League open with a big bid. Look what I was expecting. So imagine we got that over the line. Would the perception have changed? Would the mood have changed?
100. You get Caicedo, but this is the thing. This is fine margins. I've been on loads of channels of late. Liverpool fans, Caicedo, we're title challengers. It's coming back. Now he's gone. Shambles. What's going on? We'd be lucky to get top four. Get Klopp out. Get everybody gone. Wow, it's like extreme, bro. It's like extreme one to another.
Do you get my point? So look at the difference one signing can make. For me, Moyes' Caicedo is a game transformer. I hate he's going Chelsea. I hate it because he's a bad boy. If he went to Arsenal, you would have been serious. You're already contenders. You would have been serious contenders. That's how transformative he is. If he came to Liverpool, we would have been back challenging. But the fact that we haven't got him, it doesn't mean everything's fucked and we're like, you know, give up because time is left. What we do with that time, Dan and Igal, will indicate where we're at. I need you to invite me back once the window is closed, and then I'll give you a proper assessment. Because the gutting out, we needed to be done. We didn't expect Fabinho and Henderson to go, but money spoke. You can't refuse 40 million for Fabinho. I'm not sure. I think you know my opinions on Fabinho. You've been on my channel as well. I thought Fabinho was finished, and I was very happy that we're accepting 40 million for him. But the fact that we haven't got seemingly a fixed plan to replace him is someone like Liverpool. In fact, it's indicative of the Liverpool since Edwards and Ward have left. But as you said, if we bring in, for example, a Czech Decore, and this is not reactionary, people already know that have been following my crap on YouTube and on Twitter. People know I rated this guy from Lens. This guy's a baller. He's a mean machine,
quality.
right? I don't give a shit about price, Dan. Just like I said about Arsenal and Declan Rice, I don't give a shit. They had to do what they had to do. Just like Chelsea. Chelsea done what they have to do. I banter and I joke, but money, I don't give a shit if he's 5 million or 500 million. Every team, whatever the means they've got, by hook or by crook, rules or no rules, that's not their problem. You have to do what you got to do to make your team the best possible, competitively, right? Possible. Liverpool, if we're being quoted 70 million, tough. Pay for your sins. We fucked up. We made errors. Pay for it now, people. FSG, pay for it. So if we're getting quoted for 70 million, which we all agree is wild, I don't give a shit. Go and pay it. If we're getting quoted for Florentino Luis 60 million, I don't give a shit. Go and pay it. Paulina from Fulham, I don't give a shit. Go and do it. We must bring in established, experienced, or potentially brilliant, like Decore, because he's not established, but he's potentially brilliant, DM to fix this transfer window. The centre-back one, I absolutely agree with you, is probably our weakest position. It's probably our weakest position, because after Konate, I don't trust none of those centre-backs anymore. John Matip is an absolute legend of the club, but he's finished. And Joe Gomez, people that talk about ACLs and one ACL and whatever, you try going through two. The brother's gone through two. He'll never be the Joe Gomez that we saw 3 seasons ago.
I agree with that.
So therefore, we need those two positions fixed, and we've got 10 or 12 days to fix it. If not, invite me again, and I'll spit into this. I'll go mad, spitting fevers like, what have they done? But I personally think we will get the business done. And people say, oh, fucking there's a new word going out, by the way. Positive toxicity. Toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah. I learn new things every day.
Bro, I get this called every time because it's
this is madness. I don't know what this means. There's people out there saying, oh,
it means I'll tell you what it means.
Have you heard the other one, copium? Where it's like every time you say
I'm
something.
too old for this shit. I get all these labels thrown at me. And
copium, not opium, copium.
Yeah,
it's because what it is because, and I know this, and I've heard a lot of fans being called this. It's basically people who just go no problem all the time. So Liverpool will get this, doesn't matter, no problem. I'm a fan, I'll back my club, whatever. I'll sit on my hands and I'll let it go to pot and I'll sit with it. So that's why they say it. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. That's the meaning. That the fans like that get called toxic positive because you're just going to be happy, whatever. You never call the club out. They do something wrong. We're never going to move anywhere. That's what those people say.
So look. First and foremost, in my opinion, this might be controversial. In my opinion, you know, people say there's no right or wrong way of supporting a club. I disagree. I think there is. And that's a whole different show. I think support and being a fan is two different things. If you're a supporter of a club, if you're a supporter of your family, if you're a fan of your family, look at the difference.
Yeah.
You can be a fan. Anyone can be a fan.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to be a supporter. Support means support. Support doesn't mean only when things are rosy. Support means things when they're fucking horrible. At the moment, it could be perceived things are horrible at Liverpool. So supporters need to start rising in support. That doesn't mean call out shit when you see it. I've just told you at the moment, 18th of wherever it is, 8:55, wherever it is, at the moment, it's a shambles of a club at the moment. Off the pitch. On the pitch, I wasn't too distressed about our performance. I knew Chelsea away is going to be tough. We could have blown them away in the first half. Second half, they controlled it. Enzo Fernandez was man of the match. I've got no issues with admitting the deficiencies of my club. I've got no issues with calling out the owners of my club. I am not an FSG supporter. I'm a Liverpool supporter, though. Don't fuck my support for Liverpool. If you call me out for my support for FSG, cool, man. I don't give a shit about FSG. I'm not on their payroll. They're custodians of my club. They'll be gone 5 years' time, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I've always been, whoever the owners are, not FSG in or FSG out, FSG, do the right thing. Do the right thing for my club, so my club can be the club that I support and be proud of. At the moment, they're not doing the right thing. I'm not proud of Liverpool right now because of the ownership, the way they're handling things, but they can fix it, and they fixed it in the past. That's all I'm saying.
Let me jump in here. I'm gonna keep it real here. No banter. When it comes to Caicedo and Lavia to Decore, how much of a drop off in quality do you think you're going for Decore from where you guys were looking at Lavia and Caicedo?
No drop off in Lavia. No drop off in Lavia. Caicedo, in my opinion, is one of the best in his position in world football. But that's my opinion. So there's a massive drop off. You're talking Shumani levels with Caicedo, in my opinion.
Okay, I agree with you.
I'd agree with that.
People can have their own opinions.
I agree with you.
But it doesn't matter about drop offs, because no club, you will know more than anyone else, being an Arsenal fan, no club gets their first choice all the time. Not even Real Madrid. You have to work through your targets. So if Decore is third, fourth choice, again, it don't bother me, Gal. It literally don't bother me. I know his attributes, and I know we need those attributes. And I know if we enable his attributes to become part of the Liverpool, and like Dan said, everything around him, so Boyzline, McAllister, and Decore, I think we're on a par with most midfielders in the Premier League, if that happens. That's how much I rate the rest of Szoboszlai and McAllister. So we need to get that over the line. I get it. You know, people are saying the drop-off in quality. The drop-off in quality, it depends how much you rate the player that he was supposed to replace. Lavia is a wonderful player, wonderful potential. But in my opinion, Decore is ahead of him. In experience, in exposure. He's played far more Premier League and at top level. Lavia's first season, full season. So
I hear that.
don't get me wrong, I wanted Lavia. Now I'm not crying sour grapes. I'm just saying I've rated Decore a long time. Paulina, go through my tweets. I've been fucking raving about Paulina at Fulham. Like, how did he end up at Fulham? So if I suddenly want him, doesn't mean just because I've not got a thing, I'm bigging up Paulina now. Florentino Luis, I said a whole year ago, he will be the new Fabinho. We need to keep an eye on him. He plays like Fabinho. He's built like Fabinho. Telescopic legs. Loves a tackle. Not brilliant on the ball, but energy. So all of these guys that I've mentioned, I'm absolutely fine with, and not a drop off. I ain't gonna sit there and say, we didn't get our season finished. If we get those players, I'm hyped.
The other thing is, we're in a social media era. I know this doesn't affect what's on the pitch, and you only care about what's on the pitch. But the main reason why your fan base are so emotional at this moment in time, from my perspective, is because they've just experienced one of the most embarrassing hijackings in a long time. Like we've dealt with hijackings at Arsenal, but this is on the level of what happened to Tottenham and Willian. You guys
only because of social media. Otherwise, in football terms, there's been many a hijacking that I could go through. You lot probably won't even know about these things, but only because of social media. So I don't really take consideration to it. I don't give a shit about social media. I don't care about kids talking about, you got hijack, because that's all it is. Otherwise, there's been major hijackings, much bigger than this. But it's fine. They did hijack us. And we were wrong, and we got embarrassed. There's no denying it. But in terms of letting it affect me because of social media and kids, you're talking to the wrong bloke, unfortunately.
No, but that's why majority of your fan base are
and it's not the majority of the fan base. It's the majority again of online fan base.
Online, and younger.
Yeah. When we go to the game, when I'm going tomorrow, I'm about to leave in England. I'm hyped. I'm not going there to boo.
Yeah.
I'm not going there to say FSG out. I'm going there to support my team. I'm going to leave at 7 a.m. in the morning. And I'm going to be so privileged and honored to be there. And they need my support right now. The players. Fuck the owners. They don't need my support. I'm saying it openly. The owners I couldn't give a shit about. But I can't control the owners. I can only control my support of my team on the pitch. And they need it. Because if I take my frustration of the owners out on my team, it defies the objective of being a supporter of your club. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? If I take my frustration of my support, my owners, because I am frustrated, I am angry, but I can't let it affect Szoboszlai's debut at Anfield and McAllister's debut at Anfield, and Klopp saying, come on, man, support us so we can beat Bournemouth. My objective is to support my team to beat Bournemouth. And then hopefully the powers that be, or the media that plays a massive influence, the written media, the local media, if the owners don't back the Klopp and the team, fucking try and get them out of the club. But me, tomorrow, I'm a Liverpool supporter. I can't wait to be at Anfield again. It's been a long time. They've killed me last season. They've embarrassed me. You're right, in the window. I need to support them though. I'm not going to give up on them.
Listen, you go for it, Grizz. You support the way you want to. My last question of the
Don't
night
get me
before
wrong.
we go.
Everyone can support
Grizz.
them how they want.
Yeah, of course.
Do what you want. Sat in your rooms, sat in the ground, sat in your mum's house, dad's house, sat on the street. Do what you want. Act how you want. Be what you want. But there's no right way and wrong way. I'm there, man. I'm there supporting them tomorrow. I can't wait. You're right, Igal. Chelsea dealt with us. We dealt with ourselves. We embarrassed ourselves. Chelsea had him boxed off for months. We just fucking try to hijack them with the money. And, you know what I mean? Chelsea got money. You know what I mean? We know they got money, innit?
So understand that a lot of people that are younger, that are social media fans, these things affect them more than...
Shouldn't it? That's their problem, innit?
Yeah, surely that is their problem. But when it comes down to that, it is their problem. But when it comes down to...
My advice would be put the phone down. Go and watch your team, support your team, and don't get in. If you're day and night talking shit to other fans, imagine I spend day and night talking shit to you. Imagine Dan's a Man United fan. You're an Arsenal fan. Imagine I spend day and night chatting shit about your clubs. And if my team don't support, if my team can't back me up, I'll come and take it out. I'll come and take out my frustrations on my club. Why? Because I've been chatting shit about your clubs. Do you get it? Because I've been chatting shit about your clubs. My ego can't accept me being wrong. It will say, fuck my team, fuck my club, fuck my owner. I shouldn't have been cussing you lot. I should have been concentrating on my own team. Blah, 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 blah. So of course it's the banter era. It's the social media era. If you're day and night cussing other teams and other players, that's on you. That's on you. I don't go around cussing other teams' ownerships day and night, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I support my team. I'm only concentrating on Liverpool.
And you know what? I'm just going to bring it back to Liverpool then. I do think Liverpool still have a road to be very good. And that would be buy a DM, buy another defender. But the quality has to match what you guys... And if you guys are not able to get the quality, at what point do you say to yourself, it's not about the money, because you guys have shown that you're willing to put the money up. Is it your negotiation team are not good enough? What is it? Because we can speak about owners every day. We can speak about money. But where is the deeper issue? Because we had to basically get rid of everybody at Arsenal. The negotiation people, the people doing the contracts, the people identifying the people, the manager, everybody. Where do you think the blame lies outside of the owner?
That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one, because I spoke with Errol, who you know Grizz very well, on here, and he actually said Klopp needs to take some of the blame because he should have stamped his foot down and said, that ain't happening yet. You ain't sending them yet.
Who the hell can absolve Klopp of all blame? No one, no Liverpool fan can. Only the toxic positivity Reds would do that and say, nah, he's immune to all criticism. You have to. How can Klopp be absolved? Klopp is doing a lot what Wenger done in his last few years.
I agree.
It's looking very similar, isn't it? It's very strange that.
2017, fucking hell, Twitter's mad. You can search. People ask me, what's Klopp like? I said, he's very Wenger-like. And everyone said, what are you on about? Now they're saying, oh, shit. Now we see what you meant. Because look at the similarities between Klopp. How many times did you lot say Wenger's fucking protecting this ownership? I bet you lot used to go mad about Wenger.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is exactly the position we're in. The only person that can flip the whole of the fan base, and I mean the whole, online, offline, match going, non-match going, international, whatever. The only person that can flip everything on us just like that is Jurgen Klopp. If Jurgen Klopp comes out tomorrow and says, I can only work with whatever I'm given, people will go mad. But Jurgen Klopp's coming across, everything's calm, it's good, just keep supporting me, trust the process. And so that's why fans are in limbo. So Jurgen Klopp has to, you're right. So therefore, if things fuck up, Igal, for example, in December, if we're 6th in December, 5th, 6th, 4th, not 4th, 5th or 6th in December having a shit, Jurgen Klopp is under huge pressure. I don't know if you want to ask me that, Dan, but I'm saving you time. Jurgen Klopp is under huge pressure this season. He has to deliver a title challenge and a trophy. Jurgen Klopp is
So let's say then, Grizz. Let's say then.
So
2 years. 2 years left on his contract.
After this, yeah, so 3 years.
Oh.
So let's say then, right? Let's say Liverpool save their window. They get a decent centre midfielder defensively and at the centre half as well. Who out of us on this panel is going to be in a better position to be fighting that horrendous team down that we all hate, Manchester City? Are you backing your boys, Grizz? I guess the answer is yes, because you love them. But genuinely, your football brain, does it have Arsenal up? Does it have Arsenal up?
When we done our predictions, we done our predictions on the Big Six, and I said, you could toss a coin between Arsenal and Liverpool. Who's gonna challenge City? That's how much I think you lot are there. I expect us to finish above Chelsea, Spurs, United, though. We must. Newcastle. I still think we're a level above them. Last season was an anomaly for us. Every time we've done that, we've come back hard. I haven't got the same confidence.
I have you in third. I have Arsenal second, you in third. I still have City in it.
I haven't got the same confidence. Do you remember the season before last season where we finished with no centre backs and all that, and we still managed to finish third? That's where the big statement came from on Big Six. I said, watch the big dogs come back. And we came back roaring the following season. Yeah. This season, I'm not that confident. I haven't got that confidence only because I don't know how the next 12 days are going to pan out. So that's why I said, next 12 days, we can come back and then I'll tell you my chest or my chest. Title challenge. No, when I say title challenge, I still think City are going to win it. But I'm talking about in terms of who's going to finish second or third. I think it's going to be us two. I agree with that. It could be you, it could be us. I don't think there's much to choose between us, especially if we get the work done. But it's all about the work. And very quickly, Igal, because I've got to run, lads. Very quickly, Igal, in terms of who's to blame, when you win, it's a team effort. It's a coach, data analytical team, sporting director, owners, everyone gets the glory. When you lose, everyone has to share the blame as well. Of course, differences of percentages. Klopp gets less of the blame, for example, than the owners or sporting director, but for sure he gets the blame. So there's many issues, but it's not a Liverpool show, but there is many issues I could talk to you about behind the scene.
On anything show, Liverpool, it's a football show, man.
Yeah, Liverpool, there is issues behind the scenes, but we've got to fix it if we're going to come back, you know what I mean? So Jurgen Klopp 2.0, this is the start of it. Let's see how it goes.
100%, man. It's a good way to end it. Just, Igal, a sentence from you, since we both have to run, because I have to run as well, about why Arsenal are going to win the league, because that's where you think we're going to finish. So why are we going to win it this year, bruv?
Man City's making it easier for us. They haven't replaced Gundogan yet. They haven't replaced Riyad Mahrez yet. They've unfortunately gotten injury to one of their best players, and it's Arsenal have strengthened, and Man City look like they've gotten weaker. So it's more of us coming to the pack, and if they don't get themselves some new signings come the end of the window, it's going to be Arsenal are going to be the favorites going into the later half of the season, I believe, based on the fact that Man City have gotten weaker. But hey, people believe Man City will always have the same strength. I don't know if you guys seen their squad against Sevilla. They only had one attacking option off the bench, and that was Julian Alvarez. So that's my thing.
Fair play. I hope you're right, my friend. I really hope you do. Listen, do me a favor. There's 500 of you, or over 500 of you still watching. Make sure you do me a favor and smash a like on this one. Subscribe to the channel, please. We're literally a couple of hundred off of 12k people. So please get us up there. Make sure you go and do exactly the same thing over for Igal Talks Football, who I believe is up to around about 20 or 30k that he's heading towards. So that's fantastic and always good to see. Likewise, Grizz, go and follow Grizz on all socials and on his podcast, which if you want Liverpool content and football content, to be fair, it's the place to be. Heading up towards 40 or 50k now. I can't even keep up with this guy. So make sure that you carry on doing it. No, it's all good, man. It's all love. Make sure you smash a like on your way out. We'll be back over the weekend for all things football. Take it easy, and of course, up the Arsenal. Latest, people.
Yes.